to the newly created customer, you'll see some options at the bottom here to create a job, create a quote, or create an appointment, which is normally used as an appointment to create the quote. The form looks identical for each, so I'll show you how to create a job here and how to do appointments specifically in Module 13. The job form starts with the job address because the customer address is going to be the same for all jobs on that customer, but the job address could change. You could have hundreds of different jobs for that one customer at different addresses, so you can go into there and edit the address if you need to. Underneath here you can add what service you're going to be providing. So your service list is created by yourself, and if you haven't got a service there that you want to see, you just enter a service and add it. So here I'm going to go for a deep cleaning and carpets, and then I can either choose to price by job, which just gives one price to the whole job, or I can price by services. Pricing by services lets you see the individual services and their prices on separate lines in the invoice, which is a little bit better for separating out those costs. You can see as well that this deep cleaning came up with a rate automatically, and that is set in the services section in the menu, where you can set a default service price should you wish to. Alternatively, you can leave them blank and just add them each time. You can change the amount for each of these, which will affect the total price at the bottom, or just leave them as the default, which is 1. And once you've got that saved, you can see the price there. Sometimes businesses have an initial price where the first appointment is more, or it's discounted as a special offer or something. So if you want to have a different initial price, you can select this box here and put the initial price in there. And then we've got the schedule. So the schedule will automatically set the main schedule that you have as your default one in settings under jobs and scheduling. So for me, that's every 4 weeks. However, you can change that in here if you want to, and you can go with months. If you're going to go with months, in order to retain certain certain days of the week where you perhaps don't work, rather than going on a particular day of the month, what we suggest is you go with a week in the month and a particular day to make sure it's always a working day for your business. So I'll set that one up. Then sometimes underneath here, some businesses have a different first date that doesn't match with the rest of the schedule. So you can always select a different first date on there as well and say it's going to be Wednesday this week rather than the Monday. And then you've got the options to add time and duration. So for any appointments-based business where the time isn't crucial, you tend to leave that blank so that you can optimize the route. However, if it needs to be done at a certain time, you just toggle this here and enter the time. So say it's 16 o'clock on here. And then again, the duration is pulled through from the default duration that you've set in the main global settings. Assignment, so you've got a default assignee if you've set that in global settings, or you can choose to assign it to a particular user or team, and then you can add it to a round as well if you want to. So say it's here. You've also got job notes as well. So job notes are visible to all workers as opposed to customer notes, which can be hidden from workers and planners. So you can just add some jobs notes here. Again, just like on the customer notes, you can add a hashbang for important notes. Oops. And notes with no spaces so that they show on the planner. You've also got some job notes that are specific for the invoice, so anything that's specific for the invoice for that particular job, as opposed to the additional invoice notes for that particular customer if you have any. And then you've got just a couple of settings at the bottom, whether you want to track time on this job, whether you need to require a signature for this job, and lastly the job state, whether the job is active or inactive. And once you've set all of that, then you can save the job on there. and you'll be able to view it by pressing into one of the appointments here, which will bring up the job form as you're used to seeing it.